Things are already popping in.
It's the anti-tracker.
We will return to your scheduled programming shortly, or we are currently experiencing technical difficulty.
What is going on YouTube? Oh, helps if I have the microphone nearby. What's going on YouTube? Michael J. Crawford, the anti-tracker here. Sorry, I'm not feeling particularly high energy today. Besides being up very late, been fighting the insurance company this morning, and also got some less than optimal news from the doctor. So it's been a rough AM today, I'm not going to lie. And so Thomas was first in the chat, says BIRDOPREY 5 is streaming, and yes, indeed he is. He's doing Karoga Forever.
Peter says Charlie's Angels has always been about women. Exactly. And they've always fought men. It's not that they fought women.
Okay, so BIRDOPREY is getting right into some misogyny there. So good luck with that, Bird. Now, Bird probably is going under the assumption that I was not going to stream today. I'm obviously quite late for me, and that is mainly due to dealing with the insurance and the doctors and all that crap. But, it is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. You know, and, you know, BIRDOPREY is more than welcome to have his clearly inferior Karogan stream going at the same time as mine. Anyway, so Luke Fovark is in the house. Good to see you, Luke, my friend. Cinnabon is also here. Life with Matthew says, whoa, Bird and anti-tracker overlap. Yes, that is true. And it's funny, now Peter is telling, because on BIRDOPREY's chat, Hector called me a jerk because I went live, and I said, well, actually, I always stream in the AM on Tuesdays. And then Peter said, anti-tracker ain't on today. So Peter obviously doesn't have notifications on. So that's that could be a problem here. So good old Peter. Yeah, and Hector says he's live right now. Yes, I am. So anyway, this is gonna be a meta day kind of thing. So Star Trek says he's 6th. Brian says, hi ho, everybody. Good to see you. Commander Shran is here. Mike Richards says, greetings, F6, Columbus, Ohio, and corrects it to from. That's an interesting type. How do you get F6 from? I mean, R is like in between 4 and 5 on the. How did you do that? That's amazing. Thomas throws a $1.99 in the chat, says, wow, the war is going to get worse. Yes, it certainly is. And number 21, you got it.
And pork. It is with cooking with the pork and the pork. The guy with the cow, and we're gonna make the cope. Here's bring out the cope.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cope, get it in the pot.
Get in the pot here.
And then we stir the cope. That's a good cope.
Okay.
And thank you, Thomas. I do appreciate your generosity, as always. I appreciate it. But Luke is saying, dang it, Thomas. Well, you know, Thomas is right. You know, Bird is escalating. The war is unfortunately going to get worse. And, you know, we of the Kurdistani Republic obviously do not want war. However, Karoga has, you know, brutally attacked our research outpost and then attempted to attack our main base, so they will have to be destroyed, unfortunately. Homeboy Record says, can you react to my new song? Well, Homeboy, without having heard it before today, I can't do it on my live stream because there are certain content rules and stuff that I'm not going to take a chance at breaking in a live stream. However, if you want to send me on Discord a link to your song, as long as it's your own original production and everything, sure. I mean, I would prefer to have something to do with nerdy stuff, but sure, I can react to it. Unless it changes, Endgame is out digitally July 30th and DVD Blu-ray August 13th. Yes, I've heard that as well. Homeboy says, please. Well, I just told you what I was going to say there. Peter says, oh, there you are. Yes, Peter. Contrary to your opinion on BIRDOPREY's stream, which, yes, we just saw here on BIRDOPREY's stream, I am, in fact, streaming today. So I know what I said yesterday was I might not be able to get a stream in today because of all the crap. Darren says, oh, you're on and streaming. Sorry about the message. No worries, Darren. I'll check it after I'm done. 2 streams at once. I feel like a Klingon. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? So everybody on BIRDOPREY stream should say, hey, Bird, why are you taking Anti-Trekker's time slot? He's trying to stream and you're ruining it. So let me go back to my channel so I can see what's going on. And yes, so obviously I saw Spider-Man last night, and I am not going to be discussing any spoilers. I will tell you there are 2 post-credit scenes, and you don't want to miss either of them. One of them is, quite frankly, the first one, the mid-credit scene, is, in my humble opinion, the best post-credit scene that Marvel has done thus far. And some people may disagree with me on that, but when you see it and you see who is in it, it's incredible. It was like, oh yeah, and it's something that I and several other nerd pundits have talked about in the past, as far as one thing we would like to see happen in the Spider-Man MCU franchise. 2 streams at once. I'm so confused. Sorry, Epic. And let's see. The F6 thing is clearly due to some autocorrect witchcraft. Probably. And by the way, I tell you, Luke, you say witchcraft, and the word witchcraft is used in Spider-Man Far From Home more times than I can count. I gotta say this. This is something that I'll give them credit. I did not know that J.B. Smoove was in this movie. And I don't particularly care for him. I just don't like his mannerism and all that. To me, he feels like a second-rate Eddie Murphy kind of thing, and I just never really cared for him. However, I liked him in this. I actually did like him in this, so that was a big thing. Overall, I'll say this as far as the movie is concerned. It's really good. Really solid. I would say of all the... Well, with the possible exception of... Well, no, I don't think even Winter Soldier. I think this is the best second film in a solo franchise thus far. I think it was really good. Many people have been afraid of Marvel going full-on wokeness. Now, granted, technically this movie is a Sony picture, but no, there is no hint of hardcore wokeness in there beyond normal character development. And when I say that, for example, Zendaya's character of MJ was a strong character. In the first one, she is still a strong character, but they didn't suddenly make her a superhero or something, you know. And so nothing that and in fact, the closest thing to a woke moment in the entire film is actually in the trailers, when Peter is trying to suggest other people because he is just the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, not really a world-saving type of hero. And he says, hey, what about Thor? And he's like, not available. Well, what about, I can't remember, somebody else. Oh, Off-World. What about Captain Marvel? And Nick Fury said, "You will not invoke her name like she's some kind of deity." That's it. That is absolutely it as far as wokeness. So I really, really appreciate that. So the overall, just a fun movie. Not too heavy on the comedy like Marvel tends to do sometimes, especially considering it's Spider-Man, but enough comedy to make it certainly entertaining throughout. There is a scene, I'm not going to, again, no spoilers, but I'm not going to give any context to this, but it's really funny, where someone attempts to throw a shield in much the same way that Captain America would. And of course, it's one of those moments where our characters are cornered, it's looking bad, someone gets the idea, grabs the shield, and and it is very, very realistic as to what happens with that shield, which makes it very hilarious. So let's see. On phone, reaching for suggested word, hit 6. Oh, okay, no problem, Mike. That's no biggie. House of Spine today, Intrigger, and the dog. And hey, dog. Well, the dog, as you can see, is snoozing, which is pretty much all she ever does. She kind of slid out of the camera's frame for some reason. Right now, she has her head hanging out of her bed. But yeah, she's right there. Yeah, they're all talking to you. You want to get up? No? You're just going to sleep? Okay. Back is still hurting like a mofo. Doctor stuff, insurance stuff. We'll get into that in a minute. But right now I want to talk about Spider-Man for a minute. Change of scenery. Well, you know, I want to put a Spider-Man thing up. Of course, the anti-dog, and a little bit of the aquarium. I just needed something to fill in the rest of the screen. Must say, damn, that new camera looks great. Thank you, Roxald. And actually, you know, that's I'm having a brain cramp. Was it Admiral? I think it was Admiral Saval sent it to me. But yeah, it's actually a really good camera. So Peter says, well, it was educated anti-checker, and well, it was educated anti-checker, as I've only just saw your live. No worries, Peter. I'm not mad or anything. And I think that Bird just had a mix-up. He didn't realize that I was actually planning on streaming. And no biggie. We're all only human. Bird's still my friend. I'm not going to write him off just because he's a thoughtless, careless, honorless Klingon. BIRDOPREY started his stream calling you fake news. Did he really? Wow, he really is a jerk. He is just genuinely a jerk. Sounds like Anti-Checker had a nerdgasm. I kind of did. I tell you, especially that first post-credit scene. If you are a nerd, you will have a nerdgasm in the first post-credit scene. It's one of those kind of movies. Is it Keanu Reeves? I'm not going to give away anything, but for that I will say no, it was not Keanu Reeves. And nor was it the Sinister Six. Now stop trying to guess, because I don't want to accidentally give it away. However, that is actually a lot of fun. Mysterio is handled very well. And I actually I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job as Mysterio. I think Nick Fury was in the movie a lot more than I was expecting him to be, and he was good. Yeah, I mean, it was just a really, really solid movie. I would have to say, you know, I would have to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9. I really, really enjoyed this film. I think it was better than Homecoming. I know some people do, some people don't, but I think it was better than Homecoming. I think it was a fitting ending to the kind of an epilogue to the Tony Stark saga that, of course, started back with the first Iron Man film and truly ends with this. This is, you know, Peter is really having to deal with life after his mentor. You know, that Tony Stark is gone and he's got to deal with it. But not only him, the world has to deal with the fact that there's no Iron Man. And so that's actually a really interesting premise to start with. I think they did a great job with it, and just enjoyed it from beginning to end. Sounds like you're annoying over someone coming to MCU with masterful... Sounds like you're annoying over someone coming to MCU with masterful evilness. No. How dare you stream at the same time as Bird? Well, actually, Bird, I took my time took my time slot. Man, I am just losing it. Oh, fanboy. Sounds like you're fanboying over someone coming to the MCU with masterful evilness. No. That's not what I'm talking about. Well, no. See, I can't even say the nuance of how that could slightly apply without giving a spoiler, so I'm not going to do that. Captain Spires in the house says, spoiler, Kirk dies in the end. Well, that is probably true. And I see that BIRDOPREY is wrapping up his live stream, which is kind of unusual for him. He's only been going for about an hour. He might, maybe because he realized that that I'm streaming as well, and so we'll probably see him join us in a moment. Seems like Spidey will need help with all of them. If you're talking about the Sinister Six, the Sinister Six are not in this film. So... really solid. Would it be rock solid? It would be rock solid if it wasn't for the fact that you are already rock solid, so I can't use the term rock solid because then you'd think I was talking about you. Kronos is in the house, says, hey, editor, were you able to get the insurance thing taken care of? I'm in process right now. I talked to my doctor. They are faxing all the necessary paperwork to the insurance company after this live stream. Oh, just heard some thunder. After this live stream, I will be, in fact, talking to the insurance company and make sure they got the facts and stuff. Uncle Remus saying wokeness is coming to Marvel. Well, if Spider-Man Far From Home is any kind of indicator, Uncle Remus, no, it is not. Peter Quinn, I'm only here now. Well, of course, that's because BIRDOPREY just finished his stream. Data dies at the end. Yeah, that's it. I figured Spider-Man and Doctor Strange would be the last remnants of the pre-SJW Marvel films. Well, and funny, there is a Doctor Strange reference in this movie that's kind of funny. But the, I think, I don't know. I mean, Hulk is still around. Of course, Nick Fury is still around. And Hawkeye is still around. I think that there is still potential. Really, the only character that to me is really pushing in the wrong direction is Captain Marvel. Spoiler, Antifa goes to jail. No, Antifa does not go to jail, and well, it depends on where they are. Like if you're in Portland, Oregon, Antifa is encouraged. No spoilers, I was punching the air when I saw the mid-credit scene. Yes, see, Darren knows what I'm talking about. And yes, that mid-credit scene is so awesome, right? I mean, that was like the nerdgasm to end all nerdgasms when you see what's on the screen. And it's like, oh, yes! I can't believe... It's one of those things that you never would have thought that they would do, but yeah. Spoiler, I won't waste my money on Spider-Man Far From Home. Well... Uncle, you don't have to, but it's not a bad movie. That's the thing. I don't know why you're thinking it's going to suck. Mercer says, why do you have a Last Jedi cup? I got this when I saw Last Jedi in theaters. And I got to say, you know, because of my reviews of Last Jedi is the only reason this channel is as successful as it is. So I do owe them that. BIRDOPREY just found out you're live. No SOB yet. Well, you know, BIRDOPREY. You cannot tarnish a rusted blade. That's an interesting saying, which is kind of true, but I'm not sure what you mean. Tiki of Doom says, Kuroga forever. Tiki, you're a bad person. What? Data dies? Can a machine die? Well, apparently. Uncle Remus, let me... Sorry, Uncle Remus, but no spoilers. No spoilers. Do not put any spoilers into this chat. All right? So and by the way, any moderators, if you see someone post a spoiler in the chat, please time out that person immediately. Because we're not going to go there. J-Roar says, haha, hey J-Roar, how you doing? Were there 4 or 5 lights? I didn't count. Black Adam wants to know, how woke was it? Not at all. That was the amazing thing. You know, the MJ character is pretty much the way she was presented in Spider-Man Homecoming. And, you know, she is what she is. She's a strong, independent, kind of, you know, kind of a dick. And she is in this. And she's the same character. Agent Hill is in it, and she's exactly as Agent Hill has been. She's Nick Fury's subordinate. You have Aunt May is of course in it, and she's exactly what she was in Homecoming. So nothing was amped up as far as wokeness. Absolutely nothing. It was just fun. And so I think that a lot of I'm feeling a little more confident moving into phase 4, whatever they're calling the future of the MCU. God says, Andrew, you enjoyed the movie as a whole. Did you think it was better than Homecoming? I did, in fact, think it was better than Homecoming. And yes, I did enjoy the film as a whole. I think that, you know, really, the only thing that kind of bugged me was how normal things were, because obviously this is post-snap, and they do actually address the fact that half of their student body was snapped away and the other half was not. However, it's just kind of an interesting contrivance, which I understand for the sake of the film they have to, that Peter and all of his clique were snapped so that none of them aged artificially. So they did have one character in the film that was apparently, and I think it was if I remember correctly, in Spider-Man Homecoming, it was the kid that was in the chess club, that there were just a couple of little nods where the kid was in chess club and like looking out the window at what was going on, that kind of thing. So that's about, and so that kid aged. I think it was him. I'm not even 100% sure. But there was one kid on this trip to Europe that was 5 years older than everybody else, and he was like ready to graduate while everybody else was not. The first credit scene was a nice nod to Iron Man. Well, there are a few nice nods to Iron Man, I'm going to say. I'm not going to give any specifics, but yeah. And yeah, what about Mary Jane? Well, let me hold on. Sorry, I'm way behind in the chat. Let me try to. Did you enjoy the movie? Oh, did the movie make you excited for another Spider-Man movie and for Marvel's next phase? Yes, I actually. There are hints at both, at things that are coming both in Phase 4, in the post-credit scenes, and and for the next Spider-Man movie in the mid-credit scene, and both I thought were very positive. So yeah. Sorry for being so far behind, working on catching up. Again, moderators, if you see people posting spoilers, please time out the people, because we're not going to have that today. The credit scene will be online before long. We've heard something about Victor Doom. Well, you may have heard something about Victor Von Doom. Victor Von Doom does not appear in this film whatsoever. There is no hint as to who the big baddie is going to be. Morning BIRDOPREY stream is ending. Mercer asks again why I have the Last Jedi Cup, which I already answered. Mr. Miles is here, so what did I miss? Well, not a whole lot, Mr. Miles. Basically, I really liked Spider-Man Far From Home, and if you liked Spider-Man Homecoming, you should see it. Did we see a Captain America? I'm not sure what you mean. No, Hulk is not still around. Banner is still around, but we haven't seen the Hulk since Infinity War. Darren, I know you're a purist when it comes to the Hulk, but you know what I mean. All right, you may not like that, but that is the Hulk now, at least in the MCU. So who will be the new Iron Man? I'm not going to even try to answer that question because it would involve spoilers. Oh yeah, that would be brilliant. Oh yeah, that would be brilliant. But what do you think about the future of the MCU? It would be interesting, given what you've seen in Far From Home. I think they hinted at something in the post-credit scene that could be very interesting, but it was kind of a vague hint unless it has. And Darren, you tell me, because you know more about recent comics than me, if the way they set it up felt like it was a setup for something specific, because it didn't feel like that to me. End credit scene, Captain Kirk punches Michael Burnham in the face. That would be nice. Let me see what would get Anti-Checker so excited. F4? You lost me there. Cisco's in limbo, just like Avery Brooks. Yes. BIRDOPREY says, I'm here. You can start. Hey, Bird. Sorry about the confusion there. Was there really a trans character? No. I was actually, at least if there was, they didn't say they were trans. I didn't see any trans characters. Maybe someone in the background was, but I don't think anybody that had a speaking role in was. So, yeah. How are we supposed to know the spoilers when we still have to watch the movie? Well, Luke, if someone puts, and I'm completely making this up, of course, but if somebody puts in the chat, oh, wow, I can't believe they brought back Dr. Doom, then if you're a moderator, you put that person in timeout. I don't care if it's a fake spoiler. Don't post spoilers in the chat, please. Let's see. I Googled the credit scene Anti-Checker. It looks awesome. Well, don't say anything about it, please. Enter, you didn't answer the one burning question I had, and I asked you last night. Let me take a look here because I probably didn't see it. Oh, the answer to that is no. Unfortunately, no. And I will say this one because I think that, just so you guys don't have any false hopes, it looks like we've seen the last of the great Stan the Man Lee, because he was not in this film. And, you know, which is completely understandable. So, unfortunately, this is the first post-Stan Lee film. No spoilers for what? Join late. Well, look at the title of the video. Or the live stream, I guess I should say. Dr. Alex is here. Hey, hi, Anti-Checker. Hope you got that insurance crap sorted out. Oh, man. I'm still working on it. My doctor faxed the insurance company the information they wanted. I have to call them after this live stream to see if they got the fax. So hopefully that's taken care of. In the meantime, I got a call from my doctor's office this morning saying that, I don't want to get too graphic, but we'll just say that one of the tests that they ran on me came back positive, which means that they're going to have to do a more invasive test because it's possible that I'm going to have another bout with cancer. So I hope that's not the case, but yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with all that. Let's see. Don't spoil the end game. Yes, don't. MJ in these movies is an SJW. Well, if you feel that, I mean, I'm sorry, but Zendaya's character of MJ, you could argue is kind of SJW-ish, but she's not she doesn't turn a freaking movie into wokeness. And by the way, and Karogers actually is saying this as well, is Zendaya character is, they actually explore why she is the way she is in this film. And so it's not, oh, men are bad. Oh, the patriarchy. No, it really isn't. Yes, she talked about like the slaves building the Washington Monument and crap like that. But that is, I'm sorry, if you are a person who has grown up in this country, black, and with the atrocities that were committed upon your people in the past, do you want to go to a place that was constructed on slave labor? You might take a different thought about it. But that's not how this movie is, is portrayed at all. And Zendaya's character, I actually like better. The only thing I didn't like about Zendaya is that she was already a skinny girl and she lost weight. And so she is way too thin. She's doing that whole stupid Hollywood thing where women think that unless they literally look like they're dying, that look fat or something. And I will agree also that Zendaya and Tom Holland had really good chemistry in this film. Spoiler, every man dies. That is true, but not every man truly lives. First, the auntie fully dressed. What? Not sure what you mean, Joseph. Auntie is a dog. So as you can see her, you know, there she is, snoozing away. Or do you mean Aunt May? Yes, I think that Alexander would be disappointed that Aunt May does not appear naked in this film. Aunt May is in it, and she was in Homecoming. So Shell, the hotness that is Marissa Tomei that was in My Cousin Vinny. Yeah, I'm not, honestly, I don't know why people think Marissa Tomei is hot. I thought she looked good when she made My Cousin Vinny, but now she just looks like a typical middle-aged woman. But everybody's constantly trying to make it out that she's so hot. I don't get that. And let's see. Better than Andrew Garfield? Well, Andrew Garfield and now I can't remember her name. They had incredible chemistry for Amazing Spider-Man, and then they killed her, which was stupid. And of course, at the same time, they killed the franchise. So yeah. And let's see. Was Aunt May snapped? Yes, she was. They did confirm that in this film. And Captain Spire throws $5 in, Sarah says, here's a $5 for you, sir. Thanks for sending us nerds something, giving us nerds something to look forward to. Hope you reach 10,000 subs before summer ends. Thank you so much, and live long and prosper. You too, Captain Spire. I truly do appreciate it. So everyone that got snapped really just got a trip to the future. Well, pretty much. Yeah, so the weird thing is, of course, everybody that got there was actually, and this is something that I thought was interesting because somebody would do this, is that like one person talks about how his wife faked getting snapped to get out of their marriage. So I thought that was interesting. Geode, I don't think I've seen you before, Geode, but welcome to the man. What is up with my mouse? Welcome to the stream. Oh, was that supposed to be him? That kid that gives Peter and Happy the mean look at the end of Homecoming in the bathroom? Is that supposed to be him? I think so. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to, unfortunately, once Far From Home comes out on home video, or actually, I probably just look on the IMDb and look at the character name. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Isn't the snap supposed to have dusted half of all life? What about the plants? I think the snap only dusted half of all animal life. Marvel is like rap music, boring and not evolving. So yeah, I'm done. Well, agree to disagree, Jason. I actually don't think Marvel is boring, and I certainly don't think it's not evolving. If you look at like who is around now, it's very different than who was around in Marvel 5 years ago. Why was Spock spinning during the movie? Because spinning is a neat trick. That's why anybody would spin. I'll keep an eye out, Andy Trigger, as now I know now. All right, Peter. Yes, seems like a good coda for Phase 3 if that's the case, but I'm relieved that you said it wasn't as woke as people said it might be. Yeah, I was kind of nervous about it, but yeah, I was purposefully looking for it because I knew a lot of people would ask about that. I would too, peeps, if I had seen the movie. Not sure what you mean now. Iron Man, how dare you? It's Iron Person now. Well, that's true. Dr. Alex says, Andy Trigger, I may not be able to pop in for my birthday live stream, unfortunately. A friend is coming over immediately after work and will be doing fun in the garden, including archery. I understand, Dr. Alex, and it's your birthday, so, that's okay. Just because Joshua has been working feverishly on a Dr. Alex birthday spectacular super chat, well, you just will have to miss out on it. And so yeah. Did we get to see a Captain America? As in, did we see Sam as new Cap? No. There are the only hero characters in this movie are Spider-Man and Mysterio. Goodness, if they go with Ironheart and that whole all new, all different Marvel run for the next MCU, that might not go over well with the audience. Yeah, if they do that, I agree. I think that would be the end of the MCU if they try to turn everybody into a anti-patriarchy hero and turn everybody into a girl. Then they're going to lose their everything. It did seem like a lead into more recent Marvel Comics event. All right, that's what I was thinking, and if you're thinking of the, let me actually, what I'm going to do is I'm sending this to you on Skype, Darren, so that it's not in the chat. I have not read it, but that's what I was thinking of. Don't answer in Skype. Just tell me if that's what you're talking about. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but at the same time, it didn't seem to feel that flavor, if you know what I mean, because of the attitude of the people involved. And Hector says, come on, F4, Fantastic Four. Duh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my fault. No, there's no hint of Fantastic Four in this film, which is unfortunate. I would love to see the Fantastic Four show up. Forget all these U.S. superheroes. Netflix released today few official pictures for Witcher. It looks pretty appealing. Well, I don't have Netflix, so I won't get to see that. Corona says they brought back Doctor Doom. Stop trying to hint at fake spoilers, all right? We don't need that. But I would love to see Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom was not in this film. The version in Endgame most closely resembles Banner Hulk. I know, but you know what I'm saying, Darren. Yeah, I think supposedly cast a trans character, but you're saying that they didn't call attention to it. That's good. Yeah, if there's a trans character in there, I didn't notice, and that's fine. You know, I don't really care what everybody's sexuality is, as far as every person that's walking around in the cast. I really don't care. R.I.P. Stan Lee, absolutely. Oh no Stan Lee. Yeah, there is no Stan Lee cameo. That is sad, but we have to, get past that. We love Stan Lee 3000. Yes, we do. Even though I get mad at Stan Lee for not being quick to share the credit for a lot of the stuff that he did not do, but I do think it's sad that he's gone. Man, I gotta stuff it. It's a Kego Rogers, or however you say it. Says Overlord DVD and Mecha Random brought me here. Be sure to sub and like. Absolutely. Doomcock and Mecha Random are old friends of this channel, and they are great people. And so I love the fact that their channels have ballooned. Back a year ago, of the three of us, I was actually the largest channel, believe it or not. Black Adam says, are you okay? We'll pray for you. And we'll see, Black Adam. When I get news from the doctor, I will pass it on to you guys. I'm not going to keep it a secret or anything. I fought cancer once before and won. And if I have to fight it again, I will win again. But it's not a fun fight, obviously. Sorry to hear that. I hope you get through this. Rock dude, hey, hang in there. Thank you, Geode. I do appreciate it. So they deepen Zendaya's character in this one? Cool. Yes, they really do. And I actually liked her character a little bit more in this one than I did in the first one. Spider-Man does whatever a spider does. That is true, Uncle Remus. Damn, Anti-Trigger, I'm lagging the stream a bit. All my appendages are crossed for you. Thank you, Dr. Alex. I do appreciate it. And Doctor, even if you can't make it to your birthday stream, assuming Joshua has your special super chat ready, I will, just send you a link so you can see it. Peter Quinn says, I would say the MJ's comment about built on slaves is a great historical nod. I actually didn't mind it. Like I said, I thought that it felt natural for her character. I didn't feel like, is she somewhat of a feminist? Sure. But that's okay to have a feminist character as long as it serves the story and she's interesting. But, and I think Zendaya fit that bill. But I think they deepened her character quite a bit in this one by digging into why she has the attitude that she does a little bit. And, you know, that might surprise some people. Darren says, I agree, Zendaya is too skinny. She could be prettier too. Yeah, she could be beautiful if she would just put on about 20 pounds. Geode says, yeah, but Marissa Tomei is still hot. I personally, maybe just not my type. I don't think so, but if you like her, more power to you. Let's see. I liked Andrew Garfield. He was the first Peter Parker who didn't sound like he was from the Midwest. I'll give you that. I did like Andrew Garfield a lot. Hey, all. Hey, Anti-Trekker. Glad to hear things are resolving on the medical front. And really glad to know that Spider-Man rocks. Looking forward to this weekend. Yes, it is definitely worth seeing. Don't get any spoilers because there are some really good... it's funny because the two biggest things in the movie that got me were the two post-credit scenes. And so don't, please... I know it's tempting to do it, but don't look up the post-credit scenes. It is so much better to see it in the theater. Do not look up the post-credit scenes for this one, because the first post-credit scene, holy crap, sets up the next Spider-Man adventure. The second post-credit scene, I think, is going to set up where the MCU as a whole is going. Maybe relative to Sally Field and Rosemary Harris, that's probably why people find Marissa Tomei hot by comparison. Well, fair. I've noticed most of your Google trouble started after you started the Sunday church stream. Thoughts? And we pray for a good report from the doctor. Keep us posted. Ozzy, I do not believe that isn't entirely coincidental. So that's all I'll say. I'm not going to go on another Google tirade today, but yeah, I don't think that that's a coincidence. Anti-Trekker, or is it the kid who cared more about the trophy? It could be. Like I said, Thomas, somebody's going to need to, and I'll do it if I get a chance, but somebody needs to just look in IMDb and compare the names. Been a long time fan of your content. Thank you, Geode and Trigger. I particularly enjoy your Borg videos and the funny stuff you put into it, like the technical difficulties bits. Such comedy gold. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the encouragement because it's been a rough patch for me. And I know that the Borg videos have kind of taken a back seat. They will come back. It's just been, you know, I've had to deal with some stuff that I really didn't want to deal with, but you know, life happens regardless of what your plans are. Schromer is here. It says, greetings, Anti-Trekker and fellow nerds. How you doing, Schromer? Hail Karoga, you jerk. Geode says, I still think they haven't got more of a jock. I still think they should have gotten more of a jock for Flash Thompson, but I wonder if they'll with an Agent Venom arc in this version of Flash Thompson. I could see an Agent Venom arc if Sony allows Marvel to bring Venom into the MCU. I think they should bring Venom into the MCU. However, but I will say I agree with you. I do not like that Flash is a nerd. Flash is supposed to be a freaking jock. That's it. Please thank Joshua. Thank you. I will, Dr. Alex, but first he's got to get the video done. Anti-Trekker laying on more guilt on Alex than a Jewish mom. Don't be like those dirty Kurogans. Hit that like button. Share the socials. Donate if you can. Thank you, Rock Solid. I do appreciate that. And yes, I know I say it like a freaking broken record, and it can be really annoying. But the likes, the comments on my regular videos in particular, and sharing my stuff with your friends is the only way this channel is going to survive and grow. If it wasn't for people like Mecha Random, Doomcock, Nerdrotic, and others, you know, with what Google is doing, channels that are small to middling like mine would be just completely gone. But thank you. I do appreciate that. And as far as hitting the like button, one thing that you need to remember is that you really just need to make Mrs. Anti-Trekker happy.
Hit that like button.
See, now, how can you say no to that? Just saying. Let's see. I still read that already. Trying to get caught up. Ironheart and Milady Thor are coming. I hope not. Oh man, I truly hope not. Geode says, don't get me wrong. I like Tony Oh, wow, I can't pronounce that name, but I would have liked it better if he was playing a totally new character, not Flash Thompson. I agree. And same thing with Zendaya, by the way. I don't mind Zendaya's character in Homecoming, and actually I liked her character more in Far From Home. But Mary Jane, I'm sorry, Mary Jane is supposed to be a white girl with bright red hair, not a freaking a black girl or something like that. And it's not a knock on Zendaya. She's beautiful when she has a little more weight on her, and she's a fine actress. In fact, she had some great moments as far as her acting in this one that were very believable. But it's just it's not Mary Jane. Airtracker, is it this guy I sent in Discord? Man, I'm so far freaking behind, but let me take a look. That is Flash Thompson. The picture that you have there. So let's see. What is special about 3000 on the poster? That's it's a line from Endgame. I love you 3000. Enter. Gary on Nerdrotic was one of the reasons I came to your channel. Love your content. Keep on rocking. Thank you, Geode. And yeah, Gary is a good guy. I've been trying like heck to try and arrange getting together with Gary and Doomcock on live streams, but it's just been difficult to make the logistics work out. But we're going to keep trying. Credit spoilers on Discord. Well, please don't put spoilers up there. Please, people. Don't ruin this one for people. This is a great movie. Don't crap on it. Yeah, but as far as the Discord, I'll leave it to Captain George and his gallant crew, whatever, his people. Geode says, do what you need to do. We're still here for you. You will kick cancer's ass for sure. I certainly do hope so, Geode, and I appreciate it. Like I said, if that is the case, we don't know yet. But if that is the case, I will keep you guys informed. You will be with me through the process and probably help me get through it. Sharmer says, hope all your health issues are sorted soon. My wife and I are praying for you and the rest of the Anti-Tracker family. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Dr. Alex has got to go. Battery dying. All right, Dr. Alex. And, of course, you've probably been gone for only 4 minutes behind, but yeah. Blackout Anti-Tracker, fun thought. What if we see Spider-Verse and another Spider-Man is an older Flash Thompson and he schools Flash for being a dick? I could see something like that. I mean, the Spider-Verse is definitely not impossible, but I can't comment on it really to any extent without getting into spoiler territory. So I'm not going to talk about Spider-Verse or Multiverse or any of that stuff until after this weekend. Once opening weekend is over, we can talk about it, but not until then. Robot Shlomo says, it seems like they made this version of Flash Thompson a DJ instead of a football player to make the movie seem less American. Yeah, it kind of does feel that way. You know, and it's like, it's funny because like some people were upset that, you know, Peter Parker's like the only white kid in his school in the first film. There's a couple of them, but you know what I mean. But at the same time, with where he lives and his economic position, all that, that's actually relatively realistic. Let's see. BIRDOPREY throws $5 in, says, anyone looking to fight the turd menace, Kuroga's looking for you. Join Team Kuroga and Space Engineers. Service guarantees citizenship and wants any UBERCHAT. All right, well, UBERCHAT. I don't know, guys. Pick a number between 1 and 10. First person to throw a number out there, I'll put that one up. There are so many love interests in Peter Parker that has had, besides MJ and Gwen Stacy, there was Betty Bryant, Felicia Hardy, and those 3 chicks who lived next door to him in the 80s. Well, yeah, well, you know, Darren, Betty Brant is in this film much more substantially than she was in the first one, played by the same young actress, and, well, you know what happens. Spoilers in a Discord message, says Peter. What did you say here? Yes, Peter. Those are the two things that they were. The first one in particular was absolutely mind blowing to me. To see it on screen was so freaking cool. Let's see. Spoiler: Andy Tucker refuses to wrench Mr. Miles in the next live stream. That is true. Peter says, as I said before, don't spoil the end game. Well, all I said that's a line. I didn't say who said it or what the context was. My cat Normal asked me if you watched the Discovery Season 2 review from Red Letter Media. I did watch most of it. It's actually really good. I had it on while I was doing some other stuff, and no, it's really good. I'll give them that. Even though I'm not a big fan of Red Letter Media's non-Plinkett stuff, it was pretty good. Mercer says, oh my God, didn't know you had cancer. Oh my God, what type? No. Don't panic. Nothing like that. The test came back to where now they have to do another test because it's a possibility. I don't know anything yet. So, you know, I'm just letting you guys know what's going on with all the health crap that I've been dealing with. Into the Spider-Verse versus Far From Home terms of ranking. I liked Far From Home better. Although I did like Into Spider-Verse more than I thought I would. Hey, if they get Maguire and Garfield to reprise their roles of the Spider-Verse type of live-action film with Holland, that would rock. That would, Geode. I would love to see Tobey Maguire play like an older Spider-Man, and then, you know, medium-aged Spider-Man would be Andrew Garfield, and then the young Spider-Man would be Tom Holland. And then, of course, you can have Spider-Pig and Spider-Gwen and all that. I think it would be hilarious. You could have cut the version of Flash Thompson out of the Homecoming. It wouldn't have made any difference. I agree, and I think he was a complete waste. Zendaya is also in the new teen sex HBO show Bird loves. Well, that's why he loves it. Going to have my dinner. Stay well, stay on your feet, and we're all here for you, man. Hashtag MePoo. Thank you, Black Adam. You take care now. Saw the animated intro, The Spider-Verse with Miles Morales. My God, that was well written and fun. Cried a bit. It was really good. I like this one a tad better, but it was really good. So Rock Solid is the first to put in a number. Number 6. Let's see what's behind door number 6.
You're wrong, Your Highness. I am lore reloaded. A lore master. Like my father before me.
So be it, Lawmaster. If you not be turned, you will be destroyed. You will pay the price for not going with the studio's vision.
Father, please!
Huh?
No, I'm good. There we go. Thank you, Rock Solid, and thank you, BIRDOPREY. I do appreciate your generosity. Darren is saying to, he was really only an unpopular nerd during the Ditko run because that's how Ditko drew him. Once Ramada took over, he was a good-looking, handsome guy. Fair point, Darren. However, also keep in mind that this film even says in the credits, based on the character created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. So, yeah. True, he's supposed to be from Queens, but he isn't going to some kind of special school for geniuses, so it does stand to reason he'd have a diverse set of classmates. Yeah, the special school for geniuses I'm not a big fan of, and that's why they turned Flash into a nerd. I think he should have just been going to a regular school, and he could have been in classes for gifted students and stuff, and that'd be fine. Mr. Miles says, I'm rather impressed Marvel didn't try to start with Miles instead of Peter. He isn't hated as a Spider-Man, and he isn't white. I mean, it is Marvel. Well, I think Miles should come around eventually. I mean, they did hint at Miles in Homecoming by having his uncle in there, but no hint of Miles in this movie. But that doesn't necessarily mean he won't show up. And I'm totally on board with Miles being in it because Miles is an interesting character. And that's the thing, Mr. Miles. Speaking of Miles, the thing that and where I will always stand is character and story first. If it's a good story with good characters, I don't give a crap about what race, what gender, what sexual identity. I don't care about any of that. I care about it being a good story and good characters. Let's see. Now, let's see. Trek Reviewer says, hi, Trekker. Why do you have a phone booth in your driveway? It's not a phone booth. It's TARDIS. Sending some prayers your way. Thank you, Mr. Lundell. I do appreciate it. Mercer says, please take care of yourself. Best of luck to you. I'm going to do my very best, and Mrs. Anti-Trekker will force me to do whatever the doctor tells me to do, even if it means eating more foods that I'd rather not eat. Thomas says, Anti-Trekker and BIRDOPREY would rather suffer the end of Turdistan 1,000 times. I'd rather die in agony than accept Kuroga citizenship from you. Very well said, my friend. Darren, let's see if I can get this to move up without killing it. I wanted Spider-Man suit AI Karen to get a hologram. I like Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see that. Rock Solid's laughing. Didn't see number 6 before. Yep. Wait, I was before Rock Solid. Not on my screen, Darth Maul. And keep in mind, like on mine, I see Rock Solid. Put 6. Then Mr. Lundell put 5. Then Darren commented, and then Darth Maul, you put number 9. Let's see. Peter says, I'd like to see Tom Holland's dad, Dominic, in an MCU film. He's a comedian. Maybe in a Waititi movie. Well, I would like to see. I want to see Taika Waititi do the Thor 4 film. Thor Ragnarok was great. Uncle Remus says it is not a tumor. Well, I don't know yet, so I can't say that. Mr. Lundell says, I've always been more of a DC fan. I'm wondering if they'll ever get off their backsides and get their universe going. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed that they haven't been able to get anything going. I actually liked Man of Steel, and I thought that they were heading in a good direction. I think Batman v Superman was all right, but it was too early to do that film. That needed to be 10 years down the road. I know that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot are going over to Warner Brothers, and a lot of people are speculating that it's to get the DCEU off the ground. So, if so, good. I would like to see that. But we'll see what happens. How about if old Spider-Man was akin to Fat Thor and fights a Hot Pocket addiction throughout the movie? Well, Into the Spider-Verse kind of has that. Geo says, given Peter's economic background, going to special classes on top of going to regular public school would probably be more realistic, wouldn't it? Good one. Yeah, exactly. I don't buy that Queens has this school for super geniuses and all that. I just don't buy it. Now, maybe there is a school for super geniuses in Queens, but I don't know about it. So Dominic Holland, he was born a year before me, and Tom Holland is actually a year younger than my daughter. So yeah, thanks, Peter. And let's see. So Rock Solid says, who is this Rock Solid BIRDOPREY 5 references? Not sure what you're talking about. But Sony is the rights to Spider-Man Miles, not Marvel. That's true. Sony would have to enter into an agreement with Marvel to allow them to use him. However, remember, this is the Spider-Man solo films. If the film says Spider-Man instead of the Avengers, that film is a Sony film. Marvel doesn't get the box office from Spider-Man films. However, Marvel can then use Spider-Man in their films. So it's an interesting deal. And Mr. Miles says, Hector, they both did for Far From Home movies and Homecoming. Well, they entered into an agreement, obviously, where Sony still owns the character, but they basically leased it back to Marvel, but because Sony sucks at making superhero movies. Precisely, it's all about the story. It doesn't matter what they do as long as the story's entertaining. And let's see. Okay, Geo, it's I don't know what happened there. Luke timed him out. So I don't know if he put a spoiler in the chat. If so, Geo, it's nothing personal. Precisely, it's all about the story. It doesn't matter what they do as long as the story is entertaining. Totally with you there. Hollywood needs to stop with virtue signaling. I agree. Agree 100%. And so, let's see. Schromer says, I do not care what gender, race, religion, or color any character is, but I do think once the character is established, he or she should remain as is. You can always create new characters. I agree with that, too. And even Stan Lee himself was kind of opposed to the initial creation of Miles Morales because Peter Parker was always a white kid. And Stan Lee is nobody's, you know, he's very much a progressive far lefty. And so it's not like Stanley was saying that because he's a racist or something. What do you think of the idea that bringing Blade in the MCU, retro including its movies? I don't think that they should retcon his movies into it. However, I would not be opposed to bringing Blade in. Incoming Bird says that he went to that. Incoming Bird says he went to that type of school. Yeah, sure he did. School for Super Geniuses. Would Wile E. Coyote go there? Yes, because he is a super genius. This isn't a spoiler comment, but I would like to see more villains that we haven't seen before in the next movies, like Scorpion, Kraven, the real Rhino. I would, yeah, Spider-Man's got a great rogues gallery. The question at this point becomes, will Sony continue with this deal with Marvel, which they'd be stupid not to. But yes. I would like to see, particularly Scorpion and Rhino. I know a lot of people like Kraven. I never really cared for Kraven, but I would love to see Scorpion and Rhino show up. Disney should just buy the Spider-Man film rights back from Sony so that he can leave, the MCU proper. I agree, Darren, but here's the thing. Uh-oh, you okay? Oh, what was that? All right, she's all right. But the problem is, Darren, is that Sony would have to be willing to sell, and Sony ain't stupid. Kronos says, please check PalPay. Thank you, Kronos. I do truly appreciate that, my friend. And so you tell me what you want me to play. You okay? You got something stuck in your throat? You all right? Well, she seems so fine, but yeah, she's just, I don't know. She was like, for a second, but yeah. Sounded like your pooch was having an inverted sneeze. Yeah, it kind of did. You okay, girl? Wow, that just didn't sound good. Sorry, phone did something in pocket. Guest screen was in contact with something. Oh, so Luke did not mean to kick Geode. So Geode, that was not intentionally. Please forgive Luke. Because, yeah, sometimes if moderators on a phone can easily accidentally kick somebody, but you'll be back on in a minute. Please, no hard feelings, my friend. Miles Morales is new Spider-Man, though, but also still Spider-Man. It's kind of both. He didn't replace Peter. He's a new character. Yeah, but you know what? And same thing you could say with X-23 being the new Wolverine. And you could say the same thing about Jane Foster being the new Thor. They're different characters that just took up the mantle, right? But how about this? How about you create new and interesting characters? Like if you want to make a hard-hitting female character, Jessica Jones, anybody? You know, you can do it. So maybe the next major MCU film that wraps up this saga has villains joined together. We could see something like that. I wouldn't be opposed to it. UBERCHAT number 4 says, Kronos, you got it, my friend. Thank you once again.
I now pronounce you man and turd. You may now kiss.
Joshua, what are you doing?
Nothing! I'm definitely not making you kiss Law. I repeat, I am not making you kiss Law. I'm definitely not. unfortunately, there's not going to be a part 4. Dad just fixed the computer, and he promises not to destroy it again as long as I don't do another one of those, so there's going to be no part 4. Wait, hold on, I just got a text message. Please do these videos. Part 4 is very anticipated. Nope, I quit.
Get him.
Sing it! Sing it! Sing it!
There we go. All right, so let's get back to where we are. Sony has demonstrated that outside of Spider-Man, they can't build a compelling franchise to save their butts. Well, the problem is that even within Spider-Man, they can't do it, which they've demonstrated, which is why this is the 3rd iteration of Spider-Man that Sony has produced. And the only reason this one is so much is working so well is because the fact that Marvel Studios is really doing all the heavy lifting. BIRDOPREY says backward sneezes are normal for the normal noises for beagles. Nothing to be alarmed about. Thank you, Bird. Never had a beagle before, so I appreciate that. We have 3 butthead dogs, and they all do that on a regular. Cover the snout for a moment until it passes. Well, she seems fine now. And Thomas says, bless you, Auntie. Hear that, Auntie? Thomas says, bless you. Look, she's actually awake. That's her. Being, I'll try to move, because I know you'd probably rather look at her than me. Let's see. I could totally see Firestar and Iceman showing up in future Spider-Man films. I could see that. That could actually be fun. Problem with Jessica Jones, she's co-owned by her creator. I did not know that, Darren. BIRDOPREY sends a little Beagle guide to their sounds, so I will check that out. And the Epic Beard is saying no for some reason. I'm not sure why. Geode is back. Says, no worries, Anti-Tracker. I wouldn't mind seeing them put some Spidey's lesser-known rogues, too. Isn't Trapster in the Frightful Four one of the lesser-known ones? Or Taskmaster? Yeah, I would actually... Yeah, Trapster start out... Remember, he started out as Paste Pot Pete. And so I think that would be hilarious to have him actually be called Paste Pot Pete. Yes, forgive Luke. He is French. That's true. Night Breeze is in the house. Says, hey, how you doing, Night Breeze? Entering a BIRDOPREY, I think it's no coincidence that Sassy and Anti are both Beagles. They have plans to take both Kuroga and Turtistan. Do not turn your backs on them. Actually, see, that's the thing. Anti here is actually Sassy's boss in the intelligence agency, the Turtistani Intelligence Agency, or TIA. And the... And Bird just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that Sassy is actually working for us. And so let's see here. If your Beagle starts making sounds like that, Latin, then maybe you should start worrying. Okay. And Trigger, but with those characters you listed, the new Wolverine and so on, those characters aren't just taking up the mantle as much as the same character in a new body. Yeah, but, well, the thing is, it's like X-23 is not exactly the same as Wolverine, right? She has claws in her feet. Ooh. Jane Foster isn't exactly the same as Thor. She's Jane Foster. And the hammer does say anybody who is worthy that holds that hammer will have the power of Thor. So, yeah. But, you know, I don't, yeah, there's no need to change characters to new versions of the character unless, now I will say this, at the end of Endgame when Cap passes the shield on, I didn't have a problem with that because that was a natural consequence of the actions of Endgame. However, if all of a sudden everybody suddenly, and we kind of get hints of this in Endgame, if all of a sudden everybody has a daughter that can do everything that they can do, and all the daughters just take over, that's stupid. They're hungrier than starving Turdistanis. No Turdistani goes hungry, Bird. Miles and Peter aren't that similar. Well, they're not similar physically. They have similar powers. Miles has like that Bioshock power that Peter lacks, but I don't know as much about Miles Morales because I never read the Ultimate run. Never heard of Snowflame until Nerdrotic. What are the chances Disney MCU will give us a cocaine-powered superhero for more inclusivity? That would be hilarious. Snowman! BIRDOPREY, what the scourge of what the scourge of the squirrels wants you to think. That's true. Why is it when Josh animated Lori, his face looks like a butt? I don't know. That's just Joshua's interpretation. Darren says they could view a James Bond style opening in the next Spider-Man where he stops the big man and his enforcers. I could see something like that. Epic Beard says worst super chat ever. Okay. And Miles isn't the white Peter Parker. He's his own character. Well, first of all, Miles isn't white, and he's one of the only ones I can think of truly take up the mantle and doesn't just copy the said character. Well, I would dare say that when Falcon took on the mantle of Captain America, it was his own thing as well, because Captain America didn't have wings. Beagles were bred for something called beagling, hence their name. Beagling is rabbit hare hunting. I knew beagles were were bred for rabbit hunting. I did know that. I'm here, says Alexander. Neelix says, God, MCU Aunt May is more important character in Spider-Man is the more important character in Spider-Man Far From Home. We want her naked. The Victorian baboon woman is Trek canon. Bernie 2020, Phil the Bird. Good to see Alexander. Nice to see you. You're still as crazy as always. However, I will tell you that Aunt May is not naked in Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm sorry. Mr. Miles says Trapster, the first transgender Marvel supervillain. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that's just wrong. Geode says cool. And Chronos says, damn spoilers. Did somebody put a spoiler in here? If so, it needs to go away. I'm not talking powers. I'm talking character. I understand. Well, Miles is but you know what? You could argue the same thing with all of them, right? Jane Foster is not the same as Thor. X-23 is not the same as Logan, as far as they have different personalities. But I still don't like that if they're going to, it's okay to do it occasionally, but when all of a sudden they pass on the mantle and every single time they got to give it to someone who is a little more woke, it gets annoying. I do wonder why it was Sam, not Bucky. I mean, Cap started Civil War with Tony over old Buck, so you'd think he would have passed the shield on to him, not Sam. But yeah, it works. I think that he gave it to, honestly, I think he gave it to Sam because he recognized that while Bucky is his best friend and all that, and Bucky is technically a super soldier like Cap, but Bucky is a little bit unstable, as Bucky himself said in Endgame. So, like those affirmative action superheroes on the old Super Friends cartoon, Apache Chief, El Dorado, only in this case it's the Marvel version. Kind of, yes. I'm saying that X-23 is a female young Logan, while Miles Morales isn't just a black Peter Parker. Get it now? I'm not talking about their powers. Right, but I would disagree with you. X-23 is not a female young Logan. She is a different character. Yes, they both have similar attributes, but then Miles and Peter have some similar attributes. Does Marvel have a Native American superhero? Yes. And Darren actually already answered, but yes, several. Thunderbird, Warpath, Puma, American Eagle, the list goes on. Yeah, there are plenty of superheroes that do cover all that. But here's the thing. Thunderbird, Warpath, Puma, and American Eagle are not well-known heroes. Why? Because they just weren't that great. And so they say, but what if we make Captain America Native American? Wouldn't that be great? Except that that's not Captain America. Cronus says, nothing illegal here. Just haven't seen Endgame yet. Blu-ray getting close, though. I'm sorry, Cronus. Yeah, I'm trying not to give too many major spoilers from Endgame, but it's hard to not talk about Endgame at all when, you know, that movie has been out for a long time. The Shield is like a WWE title belt. You put the belt on someone who needs it to get over with the crowd. Sam needed a nod and confidence. Bucky was already a badass and didn't need it. That's an interesting way of putting it. Nightbreeze points out Forge. Let me see. No, that's just... I want to make sure there wasn't anything important. Mr. Miles says, X-23 is an angry short person, but female. Logan is an angry short person, but male. Same character, except slightly different. Same friggin' personality. I think that you are oversimplifying it, Mr. Miles, because I could just as easily say Peter Parker is a young guy with spider powers. Miles Morales is a young guy with spider powers. See? They're the same. That's what you're saying. You're taking one personality trait of the characters and assuming that is the entire character. And Wolverine has been around for a long time. He is not a one-dimensional character. Yes, he has anger issues, and so does X-23. However, there's more to the characters than that. I'd like to see a British MCU hero. Well, there is Captain Britain, but we haven't seen him yet. Alexander says, my Asian Muslim wife born in the USSR got her passport. We now begin to work with the visa, a step towards to be married with an amazing girl that will freak out the racists. She's so sweet and pretty. Well, awesome, Alexander. If true, I hope that things go very quickly so that you can get her to where you are, I assume in Canada. In my opinion, the best minority version of a Marvel superhero was Beta Ray Bill. Okay, that's a cheat since he was an extraterrestrial. Well, I like Beta Ray Bill. Let me see. Geez, what's so stupid? I need to turn off some of that stuff. Anti-Trucker is X-23 confirmed. How does that make any sense, Rock Solid? You're going to power again. I live personality trait. Well, anger is one personality trait. You know, Peter is a heroic person. Miles is a heroic person. You know, they're both good students. Can I yell all when I think there's a spoiler? No worries, Andrew. I can yell all when I think there's a spoiler? Okay. When will we see the first Marvel transgender superhero in the MCU? I don't know, Uncle Remus. You know, I'm sure that eventually there will be at least one, but I really don't care. I just want to see good stories. When Marvel stops putting out good stories, I will give up on Marvel. They couldn't use those names for Native American superheroes. PC police will burn the studio down. If Disney MCU chose to have multicultural superheroes, I just don't want it pandering. Although, ironically, you have characters like Black Panther, and the PC police don't go after that. But, you know, whatever. All heroes are heroic. Well, Wolverine isn't really all that heroic. But, yeah. Monica Rambeau was a unique character, completely different top to bottom from any other character that called herself or himself Captain Marvel. Agreed, Monica Rambeau should have been the subject of the Captain Marvel movie, but yeah. Dum Dum Dugan appeared in the MCU. He was in Captain America. That is true. Unfortunately, that was the only time he appeared. I wanted to see a Howling Commandos movie. All heroes were heroic. Wow. Again, not all hero characters are heroic. Wolverine being an example. He is not a heroic character. Rockstar says, scroll up, you missed the post prior to that post. You said about X-23 was an angry short person like a hobbit, therefore it's confirmed. Ah, okay, gotcha. That makes more sense. Except that I'm not a hobbit. Sorry, my mind will stop being blown in a moment. All right, Mr. Miles. I like both Peter and Miles, but it would be kind of cool if they introduced Miles much later when Peter is older so that he could be Batman to Miles Robin. I would agree, Geode. I would like to see Miles pop in maybe in about 5 to 10 years. Like maybe 1 or 2 more Spider-Man movies before we bring in Ultimate Spider-Man. Isn't Mythic trans since she can shift into a guy easily? Oh, you mean Mystique? Isn't Mystique trans? Don't know. She could be whatever she wants to be, I suppose. Yeah. Wolverine isn't all that heroic. You heard it here, everyone. Yeah. Have you not read the X-Men? Everybody on the frickin' team is always having to convince Wolverine to not kill people. Alexander says, Luke Cage is the greatest Afro-American superhero. I like him very much. I like Luke Cage. I mean, I have Hero for Hire #1 over here in my collection. I actually have 2 copies of that one. But as far as the best African-American superhero, yeah, I guess you could say, Luke Cage is definitely up there. I mean, I also do like Falcon a lot. Blade is a lot of fun. Monica Rambeau is actually a really, really strong Captain Marvel, which is unfortunate that, they pissed on her. Which is the latest popular MCU character to get into the movies? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean most recent, it would be Captain Marvel. And Tracker, the best transgender character they could put in the MCU would be Cloud. Cloud was a gaseous being in the Defenders that often appeared as either male or female in fake human form. Okay. And by the way, you could also argue that Ego is a transgender character. Ego is neither male nor female, but he created a male body so that he could impregnate a female. If there was an amalgamated universe, do you think the MCU and DC could pull it off? Would the lawyers in studio allow it? Well, I don't think they would ever allow it, but it would be a lot of fun if they did a Marvel versus DC. The Howling Commandos appeared in Agent Carter TV show. Did they? I did not know that. Is Captain Marvel worth $15 to watch? 15? No. Will Mr. Miles get a wrench when Miles becomes Spider-Man? Possibly. Chrono says Mystique is very trans. Yeah, I think Mystique would qualify because she can be whatever the heck she wants. Batman does a lot of killing too. Is he not heroic? No, he's not. Batman is, he's the Dark Knight. He is not the White Knight, the upstanding hero. He's not the person that you want your kids to be. Batman is the guy that does what has to be done, even though it's brutal and ugly. And, he breaks the rules in order to stop the greater evil. Yeah, for sure. I would want to see Miles for a few more movies. Having him stay next to Spidey movie would be much too soon. Yeah, I agree. Mr. Miles says, U.S. soldiers do a lot of killing. Are they not heroic? Mr. Miles, you're just going to argue and argue and argue on this. Superheroes are not U.S. soldiers, right? These, as far as the superhero mythos and ethics, ethos behind them, superheroes generally have certain codes that they live by. Primarily among them is thou shalt not kill. And heroic basically means doing the right thing when the wrong thing would be easier. Wolverine, of course, has deadly weapons built into him, and he's perfectly fine just slaughtering people. While the rest of the X-Men, well, they value life a little more than that. Wolverine would just soon kill somebody because they made a sandwich wrong. They could have Tobey Maguire mentor Miles Morales. Well, they could, but that would be stupid because Tobey Maguire is not part of the MCU. My favorite superhero who happens to be black would probably be Falcon before he became woke Captain America. Well, I never saw him as Captain America, but I thought he looked cool as Captain America with the wings. Storm is a great hero as well. Yes, I do actually really like Storm. I don't know why I didn't think of her, but yes, Storm is a good one. The Punisher, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Venom should become the psychotic Fantastic Four. They actually... I don't think it was that long. Well, Punisher, Wolverine... I'm trying to remember, what was that? It was like Punisher... Wolverine, Hulk, and someone was the Fantastic Four for a brief time, where they were like the monstrous Fantastic Four kind of thing. When do we get to launch the Anti-Trekker cinematic universe? Oh, that would be nice. John DeMarco says, Batman doesn't kill depending on the version of the character. Well, yeah, it depends on the version of the character. Tony Stark also did what had to be done. Well, that's true. But my point about, I mean, as far as if you want to say that, okay, if you want to say like Peter Parker is not the type of person that would kill, right? In fact, in the comic books, there's a really, really good comic that I have called Spider-Man versus Wolverine. And Spider-Man and Wolverine went on a mission together in Europe. And at the very end, this person needed to die. But Wolverine couldn't do it because this person was someone that he was personally very close to. And so, and she knew Wolverine wouldn't kill her, but she also knew she had to be killed. And so she snuck up behind Spider-Man right after Spider-Man and Wolverine had this big old fight. His spider senses went off, so he thought it was Wolverine trying to get up and hit him again. Spider-Man whips around, punches her full force in the face, and kills her instantly. And he is completely traumatized by it. Wolverine, unless he's killing someone he genuinely cares about, he doesn't think twice about cutting someone's head off. It's not a big deal to him. Son of a Red Shirt says, hey, Trigger, hey, brother, how you been? You looking good? Just got here, but I'm enjoying the show. Cheers. Hey, good to see you, Son of a Red Shirt. Hanging in there. Spider-Man was a lot of fun. Insurance companies aren't. So let me try to get caught up. Then I do need to wrap it up because I got to call the insurance company, speaking of them. Hey, brother, how you been? You look. I just read that. Captain America was the U.S. soldier. He did a lot of killing in his day, and as a superhero, he didn't have superpowers either, just increased human abilities. Well, his abilities as far as being superhuman depends on which version who's writing and stuff. Like, obviously, in the MCU, Captain America is clearly superhuman. But you're right. In the comic books, there are times when he was U.S. soldier, he was a little more brutal. Same thing was, oh gosh, what was it when he was? I'm losing it. What was the name of? What did he call himself when he was kind of disavowed? But yeah, Batman's more of an anti-hero, isn't he? That's why he's a good contrast to Superman, who's more of a white knight to Batman's Dark Knight, right? Boy Scout to the rogue. Exactly, Geo. Batman didn't really kill until the recent movies. Not true, Thomas. Batman killed in his very first comics. Batman was a cold-blooded killer in the old days. And Batman killed in the Tim Burton Batman film. So, yeah. Hulk, Red Hulk, Thing, and Colossus should become the Power Fantastic Four. I want to see, whenever they do get the Fantastic Four going, I want to see Hulk versus Thing. I absolutely want to see that. You're saying us troops are not heroes? I did not say that, RJ Pumpkin. I said that superheroes go from a different ethos than soldiers. Soldiers, heroic is an interesting term, but it basically, heroic is facing a situation where you're afraid, where you could die, and you do the right thing, even though it's a great risk to yourself. That's why, like, people say Superman can't be heroic, because Superman can't be hurt. What is there for him to be heroic about? Perhaps a better question, Andy Trigger, is Captain Marvel a movie that can be ignored for $15? Yeah. Maybe you didn't hear yourself, but you said that Wolverine is a hero because people must restrain him all the time from killing. I meant to say he's not a hero because people have to restrain him from killing all the time. Wolverine is a very unstable person. So, cinematic universe, the Andy Trigger cinematic universe is going now with Bird of Prey. Yeah, Bird of Prey is in the Andy Trigger cinematic universe, the Krogan threat. Maybe you didn't. Let's see. As soon as we launch the Andy Trigger cinematic universe, ATCU, YouTube would instantly demonetize it. You're probably right. Do you not think Deadpool is a hero in his own way when he shot the pedophile in the head? Yes, killing is wrong, but the dude deserved it, and he paid the price for it. Heroic to me. Well, Mr. Miles, that is, it might. I can see how it'd be justified, but is it heroic? No. Ghost Rider was the fourth of that Fantastic Four. Thank you. I couldn't remember Son of a Red Shirt. Yeah, so it was Punisher, Wolverine, Hulk, and Ghost Rider. No, but no, that is not heroic to me, Mr. Miles. By the way, nobody knows how Colossus is cool in Deadpool if you don't speak Russian. There's some things in the two movies that are really targeting a Russian audience. I don't doubt it. Colossus spoke a lot of Russian in the comics. What if they eventually do a superior Spider-Man arc for the MCU? That would be interesting, but it would have to be much further in the future. Yeah, I could see something like that. Luke says, best black superhero, the Cisco. Well, different universe, but sure. Nomad, thank you, Gio. That's what he called himself, Nomad. Steve Rogers was called Nomad for a while. You're referring to Steve Rogers as the captain or John Walker's USA agent? I get a little confused on it. I don't have a lot of Captain America, to be honest with you. Sorry, who is the least popular MCU character to get into the movies? Honestly, Thor. Thor is probably the least popular character in the MCU. Well, or if you're talking about popular before they got in, the Guardians of the Galaxies. There are a lot of people that have never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even comic book fans that have never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. Did Batman kill Tim Burton? I don't remember that. He tried to save the Joker from falling. Yeah, right after he set off a bomb in a warehouse full of people, where he blew people away with machine guns mounted to his Batmobile. No, the Fantastic Four, you're thinking of Spider-Man, not the Punisher. Oh, okay. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, I have that. You know, I have that when I can picture the cover, but yeah. My memory is, I'm old. Spidey, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Grey Hulk. I don't necessarily consider it heroic to kill a bad guy if there's any way to stop him without killing. Exactly. And that's why, like, it's a trope in film to where the hero won't kill the villain, but then the villain will do something to force the hero to kill the villain so that they can kill him with a clear conscience. I don't like that trope. I think that they should just not always kill the bad guy. The Cisco is on UK TV right now at Checker on the Horror Channel. That's kind of funny. I don't remember any intentional deaths in the Burton movies. Remember when Batman goes into the factory, the chemical factory, in the Batmobile, he uses the machine guns to blow open the door, and then there's people all around him shooting at him, and out of the side of the Batmobile, a little circle bomb drops, and then the entire place is leveled. You can't tell me they survived. He also, when he's going up the clock tower after Joker, gets into a big fight with a dude, and hits his head into a bell, which cracked his skull, and then threw him down about 30 stories to his death. And so, yes, Batman killed a few people in that movie. Original Hulk did really, really poorly in the start. Worse, I think, than any of the others. If you're talking about the film, the box office, yes, the lowest box office of any MCU film is, I think, Incredible Hulk. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was an obscure comic book before the MCU. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy was the very definition of obscure. Tony Stark killed a lot of terrorists. He did. I'm not saying that that was the best thing he did. The big thing that made Tony heroic is, and this was the point of his entire arc, was to self-sacrifice. That's the ultimate heroic act. I remember when the occasional DC writer had full-time spaz, Mark Waid went crazy, and he saw Man of Steel and Superman had to kill Zod. Yeah. It's not killing, just ask Bird. Yeah, he had no choice. I thought those were smart bombs. Okay. Luke says, frankly, all movie depictions of Batman feature some killing except Adam West Batman. That's true. Although Adam West did beat the crap out of a shark. Geode says, and what about when he burned the fire-eating devil or stuck the dynamite into the clown in Batman Returns? He was pretty blasé about killing in the Burton movies. Agreed. The biggest reason why 2008 Hulk did poorly was because of 2003 Hulk. I agree with that, Darren. I do. The bell killed that one evildoer in Batman or The Fall. Yeah, I agree with that, too. Mr. Miles says, why did they make such a big deal in The Dark Knight about Batman refusing to kill the Joker, even when the Joker kept saying, come on, hit me, when Batman was running towards him? Because Christopher Nolan wanted to create that Batman has one rule, that he won't kill people. That was made up by Christopher Nolan. That is not Batman. Sorry. Christopher Nolan trilogy is one of the most overrated comic book adaptations ever. It is not accurate to the comics in any way, shape, or form. But it's a good series of films, but that's not freaking Batman. Sorry not to fall, but the landing was the killer. Yeah, that's true, Cross. RJ Pumpkin says, hey, Auntie, I'm 35. Hey, Auntie, he's 35. That's what he said. Because you were saying that to Auntie. Will I see another good Star Trek show before I die? I hope so. I still have hope that I will, and I'm 51, so I hope so. Adam West Batman and the Justice in Adam West Batman, the justice system sucks. Well, that's true, but yeah, they're completely and utterly incompetent. All right, guys, I do need to wrap it up. I got to call the insurance company and stuff, and I don't want to cut it off. I do not know. I know Thomas is about to ask. I do not know if I'm going to be able to do a supporter stream today because I got to deal with the insurance people and all that crap. But thank you guys for putting up with me. If I don't get a chance to do a supporter stream today, I will try to do one tomorrow. And so have a wonderful whatever it is in your time zone.